Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhi Tamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So my greetings to all the dignitaries, faculty members and dear students of IIT. We are happy to be with you this evening for this celebration, and you have chosen a beautiful topic, Yoga for Peace and Harmony, so very important to today's world. So we will have a talk on this topic for about 45 minutes and then an interaction on this. This is what I have been told. Isn't it, Rahulji? So let's start with this topic of Yoga for Peace and Harmony. We live in a globalized world. We have converted it into a global village. So all the more we should be thinking of peace and harmony since we are so close to each other now. And usually when we talk of peace and harmony in any political dialogue on peace and harmony, we identify certain factors responsible for peace and harmony, and we usually decide that if these factors are satisfied, then there will be global peace and harmony, and they are very valid factors, points for us to know. Like usually we think of an international political order which will be responsible for maintaining peace between our borders, which will be responsible for mutual equality and respect. This is one phase of global peace and harmony. If this is satisfied, we believe that there will be peace between our borders. Then of course there's the economic order, that is a healthy exchange between the different economies of the world, bridging the discrepancy between the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots. If this is taken care of, we believe there will be global peace and harmony. Very valid point. Another thing is, and you can say an ecological ethic. We have only one planet to live upon. So if we are able to cater to the needs of this planet, maintain and preserve our environment, know how to utilize our limited resources and not give in to greed and exploitation, then we will have peace and harmony on the globe, very obviously. Then, of course, there is a cultural order, an order which celebrates the diversity in the different cultures, celebrates the diversity and at the same time integrates them also, and initiates dialogues which will bring friendship between different cultures. So this also makes for global peace and harmony. Then, of course, there is science and technology, so very important for the progress of humankind. So if we stick to that, to the true spirit of that, it will lead to global peace and harmony. And last but not the least, we identify spirituality and mental health, very much required for peace and harmony at the individual, collective, global, all levels. Now here I want you to notice this point. You see, your very understanding of these different factors which are responsible for peace, harmony everywhere is based on your mind. Your understanding of life, it's an interpretation of your mind. Your experience of life depends on your mind. It depends upon the states of your mind. So important is an understanding of mind for our wellness, our happiness, our problem-solving abilities, for resolving our conflicts, for understanding things correctly, for bringing people together, for fostering love, friendship, for bringing global peace and harmony. A thorough understanding of mind, how it works, what are its reaches, what are its recesses, how we can draw our powers from there. And most of all, what does the human being signify? What is the human personality about? Who am I truly? A penetration into this. You see, this is not a question of choice that some people ask and some people don't ask. Everybody asks this question. Who am I actually? So yoga, this is the importance of yoga. It brings you to this level. We are understanding everything through the mind. It will give you an understanding of that mind. We are understanding everything through the lens of the mind. It is going to penetrate into that lens and give you its entire features, its entire capacities. It is going to tell you how to refine this lens, how to give you better and better pictures. It is going to teach you how to live life in an exalted state, how to raise our energies to a higher level. This is what yoga is about. And how to manifest that higher consciousness which you are. The real I, what is called the Atman in the Upanishads, that is the real I, a unit of pure consciousness which is functioning through this body and mind. It will help take you to that level, help you research into this. So this is the value of yoga. So don't think it is a sixth point. We can't undermine the function of the mind in our experience of life. You are understanding life through your mind. And if you change the texture of that mind, if you know how to control it, if you know how to handle it, your experience of life will be better and better. In fact, it will take you to the very source of life, consciousness, what we are speaking of. So this is the importance of this science of yoga. You know, in India, it was studied as a science. It was taken up as a science. And with very scientific principles, it is based on that. If you penetrate into Patanjali Yoga Sutras, you will see it. It is taking you step by step on this inward journey. Today, many things go by the name of yoga. Starting from physical exercises, you have been seeing on the PPT here. Starting from physical exercises, what we call asanas, to breathing exercises, what we call pranayam, to mind management techniques, which are greatly employed today by institutes the world over. Many of them are drawn from yoga psychology. And then consciousness studies, penetrating into the heart of your eye sense. So yoga helps you achieve all of this. You see, it's a wide range word. It will help you get into a very scientific understanding of all of this. And that is the validity, the great use of yoga in today's world. That is why you see the International Yoga Day. It was actually co-sponsored by 177 countries. The resolution was co-sponsored, co-opted by so many countries unanimously. It shows the need of our times. When the United Nations General Assembly passed the resolution, it was spontaneously taken up by so many countries, opted for by so many countries. So you see, it only shows this is the need of our times. We have come to this level, humanity has evolved to this level that we are unable to understand the importance of this inner science. Remember, in any act of knowledge, knowledge is nothing but the connection between the subject and the object, isn't it? The subject is important. It is through the lens of the subject that you are viewing the object. So yoga is a penetration into this, the inner world. Your own personality paradigm is going to be analyzed, and you will be taken to your source, the source of your I. If you think a little right here, you will understand there are different colors to this I. What do we mean when we that's the word we use most often, isn't it, in our conversations? I know this, I want this, I. What exactly do we mean by I? If you analyze it, you will see this ego sense, just the ego sense in us has a very shadowy, obscure presence. So are its interpretations and advices, but it represents something very real. That is its value. It represents consciousness itself. Somehow, somewhere, we have to use the word in you. There is consciousness that is being manifested through this module of the ego and functioning through this body-mind complex. And so your personality is like this. And this is interacting with the outer world. Now, yoga is the science which helps you penetrate into this, the subject. And that is why it has been taken up by everyone in today's world. If you actually go to the word yoga, the etymological meaning, you will see that it comes from the dhatu yuj, which means to connect, to yoke. Connect what to what? Connect this very mind to its source. Connect the finite to the infinite dimension within the human being, which is what we are calling consciousness. So it gives you that connection. It brings you to that level. And that is the real value of yoga. In fact, the original value, the meaning of yoga was this. It had a spiritual aim. It is a spiritual practice. We can use it for very many things, because you see, the spiritual element in you is manifesting through the body and mind. At every level you can apply yoga. But the original purpose of yoga was this, to help you manifest your divine nature, the Atman within you, to bring it out, to give you knowledge of that. That is the purpose of yoga. So once we understand this, we will understand how much the requirement is to bring this yoga into our everyday lives. It will enrich our own life. It will elevate our own minds. It will bring to consummation our energies. And most of all, it will give you true knowledge of who you are, who you truly are. All of you have asked this question. Maybe the answer is not forthcoming, so you just stop there. But all of us ask these questions. Who am I truly? What is the unchanging element in me? So yoga is a scientific technique which will take you into this research. Coming to our topic, you see, you have given the topic peace and harmony. How does it manufacture global peace and harmony, this inward research? You know, it's a very interesting thing to know. When you penetrate into your own being, what happens? What do you encounter? You understand this much, that the body-mind complex is external to my existential experience of being. And I am more aware than identified. Awareness is the primary reality about me. Once you come to this, you will understand it's not that you become narcissistic because it is a subjective research. When you understand you are actually at this awareness, you will see the same awareness in all beings. The same awareness is not it's not restricted to me and you. My awareness and your awareness are not different. In awareness, we are not different. Bodies and minds are different. But in awareness, we are not different. So the natural perception of the yogi becomes one of unity. He sees the same being in all beings. The same stuff in different bodies and minds. That is the understanding. The yukta, this word is again and again used in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita. The man who has reached the culmination of yoga, his perception of the world, his perception of other beings will be very different because his sense of himself has changed. He will see the same awareness, the same pure consciousness in all beings. So a natural kinship, a natural connection comes with everybody. He alone makes everybody his own. He doesn't need a philosophy of service because the world has become an extension of himself. This is the actual consummation of yoga. So you don't actually have to talk about global peace and harmony. If this perception comes, you will only be working for peace and harmony. You will use the instrumentation of your body and mind only to bring good to others, isn't it? This will be the obvious conclusion. So this is what yoga brings for you. It is this unitary perception which our rishis again and again have spoken of. If you go to the Vedas, you go to the Upanishads, they will just say it so simply in the Bhagavad Gita. You know, Vivekananda had this experience, and that is why he had such a powerful philosophy. His life, the life of all these great seers, is based upon this kind of a unitary perception in all creation. You know, when Swamiji was traveling in this Delhi area, once he walked to the Himalayas, and he was close to Almora, and there at a spot under a peepal tree, he sat down for meditation. He was tired, he sat for meditation, and he had a very good meditation. And at the end of that period, he actually burst into tears. And he said, I have passed through one of the greatest moments of my life. I have understood the unity of the microcosm and the macrocosm. Which means what? You see, the microcosm is the individual. The macrocosm is the collective, the cosmos. The connection between them has been understood. Which means what? If you penetrate into the subject, you get the real knowledge of the objective world. You will truly understand what others are. The word other is changed because you see the same awareness, the same consciousness in all beings, manifesting through different bodies and minds. So then you become, what will be your definition? You are me in another form. That is their understanding, natural understanding, which comes out of this experience. I am you in another form. So then how should we treat each other? So you see, what we are talking of, love, unity, respect, this kind of a understanding which brings us together, friendship between different nations, global peace and harmony, inclusiveness, tolerance, all this comes naturally if you are able to perceive a common factor, isn't it? A common unity. And this is what yoga brings you to. The beautiful experiences of our Vedic rishis, if you go to the Upanishads, it will just strike you. How they have, you see the chant which I just chanted before the beginning of this talk, it's a peace mantra, a Shanti mantra from the Upanishad. Upanishads begin with Shanti mantras. And in what beautiful words they describe, you know, their own experience is being described. And they say everything appears to be steeped in bliss. Everything is radiating bliss. That is the experience of the Vedic Rishi. He says, Dhyau Shanti, Antariksha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Aushadaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishwadeva Shanti, Shanti Reva Shanti, Shanti Rastu, Shivam Chastu. These are the kind of prayers coming out of their lips. Because this is the perception they get. You see what yoga science can lead you to. And that beautiful Madhu Suktam of the Rig Veda, the Rishi is clearly perceiving everything is dripping with bliss and sweetness, honey. It appears like everything is dripping honey. The waters, the plants, the trees, the night sky, people around, everything is dripping with honey. So the beautiful mantra says, Madhuvatharitayate madhuksharanti sindhavaha madhvirna santoshadhi madhunaktamutoshasi madhumat parthiva gamrajaha madhudyaurastuna pita madhumano vanaspati madhumagumastu suryaha. Very beautiful, powerful words these are, capturing the actual experience of the Rishi. You see, it's an outpouring of his own experience of beauty in nature. He has realized the peace, the oneness within himself. He sees the same all around him. And he feels that the whole universe is dripping in peace and bliss and sweetness, honey. So you see, these experiences are a possibility. Many times, students of IIT, when they come to us, you are usually talking of your problems. The problems which modern youth are facing. Understand this, that if you condition your life to these principles of yoga science, you will naturally overcome those problems. Your lifestyle will naturally become sattvic. So then your energies are at a level when you can work on higher things. You can concentrate better. You can get more out of life. If this kind of understanding has not come at this age, then yes, it is difficult just to handle the mind. A very confused and wrongly conditioned mind is difficult. But if we bring in this yoga psychology, these kind of sanskars, you will understand you have to make small modifications in your lifestyle, that is all. But you will understand the effect it has on your mind and on your capacities. Your capacities will just zoom up, because that is the nature of this science. It will arouse your energies and you will be able to achieve anything. So you see, some little amount of yoga in everyday life, little amount of meditation can work magic for you. Try to understand this. Handling your mind, tackling your mind, dealing with your mind, you can do it easily through yoga practice. And that is why now I am going to go into some simple method of yoga which the Bhagavad Gita gives you. Because many students have asked, even in our Sunday class, do you teach meditation? Do you have a method for meditation? In simple verses, Lord Krishna is teaching Arjun the importance of meditation and what it will lead to, what is the state of mind it will lead to, how you will be able to get your happiness from within, and how you will know everything. Knowledge will come to you from within if you just practice this simple kind of meditation. So let me go into the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. There are 10 verses dedicated to this. We will just go through them quickly so that you get an idea of what yoga is going to do for you. A little practice every day and you will know how to handle your mind. Your mind itself will sort of get addicted to this form of joy. You know, your mind itself gets steeped into a higher peace, a higher joy, a higher understanding, and you will understand the value of yoga yourself. So the technique is very simple. You see, the teaching goes like this. Lord Krishna is telling Arjun, select a place for meditation every day for some time, for a short time, practice this meditation. Select a place which is clean and which is beautiful, where your mind will settle. Now you may ask, where in IIT Delhi, where are we going to find such a place? NRCV has a meditation hall. You know, if you want to meditate, you will always find a place. The essential thing is the readiness of the mind. I need to do this because there's no other way I can handle my mind. I need this particular serene hour of peace within myself so that I can work better with my mind. Isn't it? We have all felt it. So try to do something of this every day. You see, the procedure is like this. He says, Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishashchan avarlokayan. He says, how do you start with your meditation? You must sit straight. Come on, sit straight, all of you. youngsters, sit straight with your back, neck and head should be straight. You know, this has a very deep impact on you. If these are in a straight line, you will see naturally a kind of alertness in your mind. A kind of alertness naturally comes if you keep these in a straight line. So the meditation starts off like that. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam sthiraha. Don't shake your body. Keep it still. Some simple tips about yoga I will give you. If you still your body, you will still your mind. Please see this. The two are so connected. And if you regulate your breathing, you get the mind in your hands. You can handle your mind easily, your thoughts. So just practice these to learn to sit still. A yogi's very appearance, the body, the gaze, everything is very still. Not restless. So a little of this practice and you will see the effect on your mind. Now once this is achieved, don't look this side and that side. You see, this also he says. Sampreksha nasikagram swam, the gaze should be directed towards the nose, the gaze should be straight. Dharan achalam sthiraha. Then, what should be the quality of the mind? Prashantatma vigata bhi. You see, two important words he is using. The verse goes like this. Prashantatma vigata bhi brahmachari vrate sthitaha manasanyamya machitto yukta asita matparaha. Prashantatma means a quietness should prevail in your mind. Too many thoughts are not required just now. In the process of meditation, let there be peace, tranquility in the mind. And vigata bhi, be fearless. Let there not be any negative emotion in the mind. Brahmachari vrate sthitaha. Raise your vital energies to the heart. That is what brahmacharya actually means. If you do that, you see the level of awareness in your mind will just be very high. It will just shoot up. Bring this technique into your life. This is a very good technique for meditation. You are focusing your energies at the heart center. Manas sanyamya machito. Now you see, you can see your mind clearly, what is happening in your mind. When you can see it, you can handle it. Manas sanyamya machito yukta asita matparaha. So such a one will be yukta asit. Yukta word means he is joined to his goal. He is connected with it, yoked to his goal now. So such a one will be able to meditate on me, Lord Krishna says. You see, if this kind of a simple training to your body and mind is given, you will be able to dwell at a higher level. Even if you don't concentrate on a deity, your level of awareness will be so high. You feel you are in charge of your system. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts and emotions. Your mind will not be restless. So you see, simple technique has been given. Then what are its effects? Very beautifully he says, Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi nihatavansah shantim nirvana paramam matsamsthamadi gacchati. Thus constantly applying his mind on me, the yogi of disciplined mind, thus meditating, he attains to peace. If you raise your vital energies, subdue the restlessness of your mind, naturally a kind of peacefulness will come into you. Concentrate on an elevating thought or meditate on a deity and peace will come. He feels a sense of bliss within him, he says. Then he also says, well, what can be the obstacle to this? Natyashnatastu yogosti nachaikanta manashnataha nachati swapnashilasya jagrato naivacharjana. Next verse is connected. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Which means yoga is not for him who eats too much, nor for him who eats too little, not for him who sleeps too much, not for him who sleeps too little. There must be moderation in your lifestyle. You see, this is the only demand of yoga. A kind of moderation, a kind of routine life, so that your energies function at a particular level. If the lifestyle is very erratic, just recently, 2 days back, we were discussing in the ashram, your IIT people had come, and we were discussing exactly the time when you go to sleep, is the time we wake up, 3 o'clock in the morning. So the thing is, Okay, your work demands that you go to sleep late, but make sure that you get fixed hours of sleep. And you are able to devote certain times of the day to some form of meditation, some form of spiritual practice. You will see you will be able to work better, concentrate better, do your job even better. So, maintaining this, a kind of lifestyle which is a little dedicated towards your higher goals, this is required. And that is why he says, Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karma. So be moderate in all these things. If you have a very erratic lifestyle, you can't do this. Then he says, Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatishtete nispriha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchate tada. Who is the yukta, the man of yoga, one who has connected himself to the higher reality? He is one whose mind has become disciplined through yoga and is riveted to the spiritual goal. The mind stays there. You see, the ordinary state of mind, there's a restlessness about it. It makes you peaceless. After some time, you'll get fed up with your own mind. Haven't you felt this state when you're just tired of your own mind? Usually when children complain of depression, children complain of depression nowadays, it is because they are not able to bear with their own minds. It's too restless. And when you open your senses, the eyes, the hungry look of constantly chasing objects, this will go if you practice yoga. You have made a contact to a reality right within you. So this restlessness of the mind will go. Your energies will turn inward. A kind of balance will come into your mind. A kind of natural peace will come into you. So this kind of mind, what does it do to you? It first of all rivets itself to a spiritual goal, and then to such a person, the non-essential craving goes out of his mind, which means simply chasing objects. People who are constantly on their mobiles because they are fed up with their mind, they don't know what to do with it. So just keep gazing at something or doing something. This state of mind, this restlessness will go out of your life. A kind of goal orientation will come. Inner peace and balance will come if a little yoga is practiced. You see, this is what he means to say. This kind of craving, unessential craving, will go out of your mind. And that is the great use of this yoga. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It is said in the Gita only, which means even a little practice will bring you great benefit. It will save you from great fear. So apply this yoga in your life. Yada. And then he gives a very beautiful simile, a very beautiful example. Yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. He says, like a lamp, the flame of a lamp placed in a place where there is no wind, in a windless place. How will that flame be? Unflickering. So also is the mind of a yogi. What a beautiful state, you see. The mind doesn't flicker. The mind is not carried away by anything. You are in charge of yourself. Awareness is in full bloom. Thoughts are under your control. You can direct your energies to whatever you want. You will really experience life, the full glory of life, the beauty of life, if you are in this state. If you are being carried away by every thought and emotion and somebody's thoughts and emotions, and you are totally not in charge of yourself, can you enjoy life? Tell me. Can you even enjoy your meal? Not to speak of life. If you are totally restless, you can't even enjoy your meal. You can't even enjoy a walk. So understand, bringing the mind under control, arousing your energies towards a higher goal. This is preliminary. This is preliminary to a higher experience of life. If you want to get this is the goal, isn't it, of every youngster, to get the most out of life. Understand where that most out of life lies. The more awareness there is, the more you will understand of life. How to generate more awareness in your system. Employ yoga. Yoga is the master key. It's a simple technique, you see. He is not giving any complicated technique. It is something you can do. Apply a little of it every day and you will understand its great benefit, its great effects. And then he goes on to dwell on these effects. You see, he says, Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmana atmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. Which means the state in which the chitta, the mind, gets subdued You know how yoga psychology understands mind. There is something you must understand here. You are not just your thoughts. Please see this clearly. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. Thoughts and emotions are surface bubbles on an ocean of awareness. This whole thing you are calling mind. Please see this. Thoughts and emotions are the surface things on an ocean of awareness which you are calling mind. You can reverse the situation. You can allow awareness to dominate over mind function through yoga. If you do that, you are more aware than identified. You understand? You get more space to think even in your mind. You get more space to function. Meditation does this for you. We can draw a simple equation here, you see, because IITians understand everything through equations. You can draw an equation here because here we are dealing with three elements. Think about it. We are dealing with mind, we are dealing with thoughts and emotions and all this, and we are dealing with awareness or consciousness. Now, mind and thoughts and all this, they are variables, isn't it? In your own system, constantly varying. Consciousness is not a variable, it's an invariable. Now you have two variables and one invariable. So mind is equal to thoughts plus consciousness in your own experience. So then what should be consciousness? It should be mind minus thoughts. This is exactly yoga. Yogastu chitta vritti nirodh. Mind minus thoughts. What remains over? Awareness remains over. If you remove thoughts from your mind, awareness remains over. See this for yourself. Raise your energies to a particular level. This will become very clear. You can draw this equation out of it. When thoughts from your mind, awareness remains over. This is the very next sutra in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Yogastu chitta vritti nirodha. What happens as a result? The drashta, he goes into his swarup, he says. He goes into his real nature, goes into his source. The very source of your mind, your eye sense, is pure awareness. You will touch that source. Tada tu drashta swarupe avasthanam. You will go into that naturally through yoga. So you see, the whole thing has been made very clear in yoga psychology. What are we aiming at? What is our restlessness due to? How can we reverse the situation? It is there in your own scriptures. If you understand it correctly, you will use this yoga as a tool to improve your life, a tool to transform your consciousness. And that is its purpose. This is what it is meant for. What is the effect of this? When you reach this state, what happens? Very beautiful verses you have. Sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhi grahyam atindriyam vetti yatra na chaivayam disas chalati tatvatha. He says you will experience a joy which is immense. Bliss you will experience. Sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhi grahyam. It is known through your higher intellect. It is graspable through the intellect, but not available through the senses. Atindriyam. It's beyond the senses. If you only know the joy of the contact of senses with sense objects, only through your senses, then that's a very limited form of joy. In fact, later he says, Lord Krishna says, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. The joy born of contact of senses with sense objects is actually the womb of misery compared to this joy. This is a joy of awareness. It's a joy which your higher intellect will intuit by itself. And once you taste this, you naturally understand the great validity of yoga. It naturally comes into your life. So, Sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhi grahyam atindriyam vetti yatra na chaivayam disas chalati tatvatah. So naturally, the yogi gets established in this. And such a person will not turn away from this truth, he says. He gets established in this truth. And then he understands yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. He understands that there is no gain greater than this. You see, this is the fulfillment of human life. There is nothing greater than this. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. It means established in which one is not shaken by any sorrow whatsoever. Because even the sorrow has become an object to you. Objectively you see it. You are not shaken by it. You have distanced yourself from your thoughts and emotions. And you have been able to touch awareness, the awareness part of the mind. And that is why you can see your thoughts and emotions objectively. So this is the state it will usher you into, and it leads to what? Tam vidya dukkha sanyogam viyogam yoga sangnitam sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. That is why yoga is defined as non-contact with sorrow. Even if sorrow is present, it doesn't affect me. You have become independent of all these things. This is the freedom which they speak of, you see, because you have become a witness to all these things. You have been able to touch the awareness in which this is rising and falling. You are always that. That was your real nature. You were falsely identified with your little thoughts and emotions, and you were being dashed about by those thoughts and emotions, and you were totally identified with them. Now this knowledge has taken you to a level where you are able to see them objectively. You are not affected by them, and your bliss and your joy wells up from within you. So what a marvelous state this is. This is the state yoga ushers you into. And that is the importance of this knowledge. If you can get even a little taste of this, you will understand the glory of your scriptural heritage. And this peace and harmony, global peace and harmony, all this that we are talking of, it will come naturally into your life. You know, the glory of the Indian civilization has always been, it always had a peaceful interface with all other civilizations. We never spoke of disharmony. You know, in one of his sessions in the Parliament of Religion, Swami Vivekananda gave us the cause for disharmony in the form of a very beautiful story. Let me just briefly tell you that story here. The cause of disharmony, he said, is this. It is the frog in the well attitude. Have you heard of this? Kupamanduk Nyaya, it is called. Frog in the well, which means the story is like this. There was a well in which there lived a frog. And this well was situated near the shores of the sea. Now, this frog in the well, he was born in that well and he grew up in that well, and he knew only that well. He did not know anything outside that well. He had never seen the sea, he had never seen anything else. So he thought the well is the universe. The well is all that there is. And I know the well very well. So this was his perception. Now one day what happened was, another frog from the sea by mistake fell into this well. And when he fell into it and he saw this frog there, and he said, "Hello, how do you do?" And he said, "Well, where did you come from?" And he said, "I came from the sea." He said, "From the sea? What is that?" He said, "Oh, how can I describe the sea to you? It is a huge mass of water." And this frog in the well said, "Well, the well is all that there is. I don't believe there's something called the sea. How big is the sea?" And then this frog said, "It's huge. You can't compare it with this well." "Oh, come on, tell me, is it this big?" And he hopped from here to here. And the other frog laughed and said, No, the sea is not this much only." "Oh, then it must be this huge." And he made a bigger leap. And the frog said, "You can't compare your little well with the sea." And this frog got very angry, the frog in the well, and he said, "What? You're a liar. I've never seen anything bigger than my well. This is all that there is, because that is my perception." You see, in many ways our thinking is like this. And then he said, "You are the liar, and you get out of my well." And the other frog just laughed and hopped out of the well, laughing at the terrible ignorance of this frog. Our thinking many times is like this frog in the well, and that is why all our problems, our conflicts, Vivekananda used to say, this is the cause for disharmony, the frog in the well attitude. Bound up within our little minds, our little understanding, our little rationality about the little things we can do, and inability to get this perception of something higher, something bigger, inability to see the bigger picture, because we haven't even explored into the contents of our own minds, isn't it? And through this jaded lens, we are interpreting the universe. So naturally a frog in the well attitude can come into our lives, and this is the main cause for all disharmony, dysfunction. You know what it leads to? It actually leads to a very contracted vision. It leads to exclusivity, not inclusivity. It leads to intolerance. It leads to biases and hatred. It leads to, finally, war. So the way to overcome this situation is expand your awareness, expand your consciousness, expand your mind, and stop being a frog in the well. At least the the decency to understand that, well, I know only as much as is in the well should come to us. Then we will be able to find a solution to disharmony. So, the glory of India's civilization, India's spiritual heritage has been this. It understood, this is a nyaya, it's a form of logic, Kupa Manduk nyaya. It understood how we can function as a frog in the well. That is why every interaction it had with other civilizations was at a very peaceful interface. Vivekananda used to say this, the great contribution of Indian spiritual thought to world culture, to every other civilization. Let me put it in his own words. He used to say, slow and silent as the gentle dew that falls unseen and unheard, yet brings into blossom the fairest of roses, has been the contribution of this all-suffering, all-enduring spiritual race upon the world of thought. This has been the great Indian contribution. Peaceful interface everywhere. You know, the Harappans, the people of the Indus Valley civilization and also the Vedic civilization, they traveled extensively. They went to Southeast Asia, they went to Afghanistan, Iran, as far as Rome. Everywhere there was only a peaceful interface, peaceful coexistence. There was an exchange of knowledge. There was an exchange of art forms, sculpture, architecture. There was never a conflict, never a war. This has been the basic philosophy of India, a philosophy of inclusivity, acceptance, because of this background understanding of the unity of all creation, oneness in perception, the Vedic vision. This gave us this understanding naturally. Another unique feature of the Indian civilization is the kind of impersonal attitude which they had. You know, they created great literature. If you read the Vedic literature, a thorough research into consciousness. Nobody has left his name there. Because no Rishi has left his name. Have you found anybody's name? Anybody's signature? No question of copyright or plagiarism. They have not even left their names because the experience was one of impersonality. They understood the truth about themselves was awareness. The same awareness is shining in every eye. So their signature strength was the lack of signature. This has been the Vedic Rishi. So you see, this impersonal outlook naturally came into our culture. If you actually see the not just the Vedic literature, but even masterpieces of architecture which they created, are great temples. Nobody knows who's the architect, who's the engineer. Brihadishvara temple or the Kailash temple in Ajanta, Ellora. You know, it's a huge 3-story temple hewn out of a single piece of rock. A marvel of architecture. Nobody knows who built it, who architectured it, who engineered it, who had it built. It's an offering to God. It is my offering to God. It's a form of worship. Only that was seen. That was acknowledged, and this is how yoga was practiced in India. You see, the touch of yoga is there in our architecture, in our art forms, in our music, in our dance, in our philosophies, of course. In everything, the touch of yoga is there, the touch of Vedanta is there. Another beautiful thing which yoga contributed to is, you know, democratic concepts and structures everywhere. Even our God is very democratic. You know, the Vedantic conception of God. What is Brahman? Brahman is the ultimate reality according to the Vedas. How is he defined? He is the consciousness in all beings. He is not one person sitting up there somewhere on the clouds. He is the consciousness in all beings. God is distributed in his creation. He doesn't stand apart from it. Tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat, the Vedas say. He became one with his creation. He entered into his creation. So you see a very democratic concept even of God. Uniqueness of yoga Vedanta philosophy. This is what I'm telling you. So you see, it has left its mark everywhere, and a very deep mark. It studies things psychologically, existentially. By doing this, it brings out very scientific principles. You don't actually have to subscribe to any dogma. You don't have to prescribe to any belief system. You just have to research into your existential awareness, and you will reach the ultimate reality. This is the glory of the Yoga Vedanta culture. So if we understand a little bit of this even and are able to bring it into our lives, it will be a huge blessing to our lives. Let us be proud of this heritage. Let us try to do something about it. What you are proud of, you will put it into action. You will try to do something about it. So if you can do something about it, it will be a great blessing in your life. With this, let me conclude and let us take up the question answer session. Thank you. Yeah.
Ma'am, my question is, whenever I try to do meditation, I will speak in Hindi because I don't.
हाँ हिंदी में बात कीजिए आप, नो प्रॉब्लम.
जब भी मैं मेडिटेशन के लिए आसन में बैठने की कोशिश करता हूँ तो हाथ पैर सुन मतलब स्टिल रहते हैं. जब हाथ पैर तो सुन से हो जाते हैं. आई थिंक यू माइट.
क्या हो जाता है?
मींस
Numb.
Numbness
in the body.
Yeah, and करीब 2 मिनट 5 मिनट एक टाइम में हो सकती है. 5 मिनट में करीब हो जाती है. उसके बाद फिर मींस इस वजह से मैं कर नहीं पाता हूँ. So do you have any solution?
तो ये जो आसनास होते हैं ना, दैट्स प्रिलिमिनरी टू योगा. जब नमनेस आता है शरीर में, देयर इज अ वे टू ओवरकम इट ऑल्सो. Don't give in to that. Just because a kind of numbness is coming into my system, that doesn't mean I should give up yoga. अगर आप पहले आसन प्रैक्टिस करोगे, आपके टीचर्स हैं यहाँ पर जो कितना कुछ आपको सिखा सकते हैं. अगर आप पहले आसन प्रैक्टिस करो, प्राणायाम प्रैक्टिस करो, जो अष्टांग योग हम बोलते हैं ना, these are the preliminaries to the actual state of meditation. These are all the preliminaries, यमा नियमा आसन प्राणायाम. इसके बाद ही आता है धारण ध्यान समाधि, ऑल दैट. तो ये प्रिलिमिनरीज प्रैक्टिस करने हैं, उसके बाद आप मेडिटेशन कर पाओगे. एंड दिस नमनेस एंड ऑल, इट नेचुरली कम्स टू मेनी पीपल. डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. अगर मन में वो बड़ी चीज हो जाए ना कि ये क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है मुझको, देन इट विल बी अ प्रॉब्लम. दिस इज अ नेचुरल थिंग. योर बॉडी वॉज नॉट यूज टू बीइंग इन वन पोजिशन फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. नाउ इट इज गेटिंग यूज टू इट, सो द नमनेस इज कमिंग. आएगा और जाएगा भी. बट अप्लाई योर सेल्फ टू योगा. अगर थोड़ा सा भी प्रैक्टिस करोगे, मैंने कहा ना, स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्, इट विल हेल्प यू ग्रेटली. और आपके टीचर्स है यहाँ पर. देयर आर वेरी मेनी फैकल्टी मेंबर्स हियर हु आर डीपली डूइंग ऑल दिस. सो आई थिंक यू आर इन अ वेरी फेवरेबल एनवायरनमेंट. तो ट्राई करो, यू विल ओवरकम इट. यस.
What is the best timing for meditation in full day?
That's a good question. See, there are two times which are very powerful. One is what is called the Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta in IIT, I'm sure nobody wakes up. But whatever it is, let me tell you, the time before sunrise, 1 hour before sunrise, is a very potent time. It's a time when nature is naturally calm, very spiritual vibrations flow. That's a time when awareness comes into full bloom. If you have practiced enough, you will see you cannot be going to sleep at that time. वो एक precious time है जो capture करना चाहिए. अगर आप नहीं कर सको तो at least find a substitute to this. I can understand your situation, especially students. This is a phase you are passing through, maybe 4 years of this course or 6 or 8 years of this course. But regulate life in some way so that अभी आपने सुना ना कि युक्ताहार विहारस्य. If you have not regulated your life, yoga is difficult. तो this is one time, ये ब्रह्म मुहूर्त जो हम कहते हैं. Another is the time of dusk, twilight hour, when the sun is setting. Even at that time, nature becomes very calm. Your mind will naturally become very calm. Your mind is subtle matter. So it will also become calm. If you actually see a lake or a river during dusk time, you will see it has become calm when the sun is setting. So ये moments capture करने हैं योगा के लिए. अगर आप कर पाओ तो it will naturally usher you into meditation. Another one time is midnight, but well, that's out of question maybe for you. Midnight is the time you're studying hard. So whatever it is, capture some of these times. I have seen people who are very busy just simply leave aside everything and do yoga at this time. And even some of the yoga studios, they are trying to capture this time. So ये किया जा सकता है. It all depends on what you hold to be important. If you consider this to be important, working on your mind in this way, you must adopt it. Just 10 minutes of time you can remove at that time. Try करके देखिए आप. अभी आपको पता है क्या करते हैं यूएस में सब? इट्स समथिंग वेरी फनी, यू नो. यू गो टू द योगा स्टूडियो विथ योर डॉग. इट्स कॉल्ड डोगा. यस, आप आपके डॉग के साथ वो लोग योगा करते हैं. इट ऑल्सो डज आसनास. उसको ट्रेनिंग दिया गया है. सो व्हेन डॉग्स कैन डू इट, व्हाई कांट यू? They also do some physical exercises. They sit still. So you can do it magically. Yes.
आहार भी प्रभाव करता है क्या?
क्या
टाइप ऑफ आहार जो हम लोग लेते हैं,
आहार
मेडिटेशन को इफेक्ट करता है?
हाँ, इफेक्ट करता है.
तो किस टाइप का लेना चाहिए?
अगर सात्विक लाइफ लीड करना हो तो सात्विक आहार लेना चाहिए ऑब्वियसली. सात्विक का मतलब है एक हार्मोनियस स्टेट. The state where there is no disharmony, there is no imbalance, there is no rajasic or tamasic element. इसका मतलब है actually sattva means a kind of transparency of your intellect by which you are able to know everything clearly. The sattvic state is very important for yoga. और ये स्टेट सभी ने अनुभव किया है. आप लोगों ने अच्छी तरह से अनुभव किया है क्योंकि your mind, you see, you just analyze your states of happiness and you will see the sattvic state is a covetable state. It's a state which your mind yearns for. But it's due to our compulsive thinking and our addictive conditioned habits, we are not able to go to that state at will. लेकिन ये practice किया जा सकता है. आप अगर एक सात्विक lifestyle lead करो, no matter what your job, what you are doing, you see that Sattvic lifestyle is important for spiritual practice. But don't equate completely that, if I'm taking some non-vegetarian food, I cannot be sattvic. Don't make that kind of an equation. Why? I will tell you, there are people who have, I have seen people who take meat and all that, non-vegetarian food, but still they are able to have a lot of balance in their mind. A very sattvic way of life. So that is not the sole criteria for attaining the state of sattva. You understand? But if you regulate your food, definitely your mind will come to that state very quickly. ये है. आप अगर border security force को बोलो no meat eating or no, who's going to defend the country? That you may practice your sattvic meditation, you cannot say everybody has to follow the same kind of life pattern. आप समझ रहे हो मैं क्या कहने की बात कर रही हूँ? मैं क्या बोलना चाह रही हूँ? It is not the sole criteria to come to the state of yoga. Everything is to do with mind. If vegetarian food brings you to the state of sattva, very good. If it doesn't bring you, or if non-vegetarian food, and still you can retain your sattvic mood, fine. उसको एकमात्र criterion मत बनाइए आप for this state. But yes, when you are practicing yoga, it is good to consciously adopt sattvic ways of living. ये बात है. If you do it, quickly you will go into it.
My question is, can we compare meditation or yoga with sleep? So, like in this busy world, we hardly sleep for 6 hours. So, like, can we get same outcome sleeping for 5 hours?
हाँ.
15 minutes or
See, meditation will give you rest. Meditation will give you rest, but meditation is not sleep. Don't confuse the two. Meditation will, because it gives quietness to your mind, because your mind naturally goes into a serene, tranquil state, it will give restfulness even to your body, to your whole system. But actually meditation is a state of high awareness. So it is not equal to sleep. आप समझ रहे हो? स्लीप में आपको जो रेस्ट मिलता है उससे ज़्यादा, उससे बेहतर रेस्ट आपको मेडिटेशन से मिलेगा अगर ठीक ठीक मेडिटेशन हो. बट मेडिटेशन स्लीप जैसा नहीं होता. Sleep is the lack of awareness, isn't it? The mind has just shut down. Here the peak awareness. That's the difference.
How do I get to know my consciousness is increasing?
Okay, what you are asking is how do I know more and more the mind is developing awareness? See, actually speaking, your consciousness never fluctuates. what you are calling consciousness, if you are talking of the Atman, if you are talking of pure consciousness, which I said it is actually the real you is that never fluctuates, that is always there in full bloom. Your mind is in different states, so it reflects consciousness variously. When it is in a sattvic state, it will reflect more of that awareness. When it is in a rajasic state, a little less because of the restlessness. And when it's in a tamasic state, very dense, it will not reflect that awareness at all. Now you are asking, how best can I make my mind reflect awareness? Because you are going to work with that awareness, isn't it? So train your mind. See that the mind becomes sattvic, the mind is controlled, the mind has good sanskars. All training is in the mind, everything is in the mind. Bondage is in the mind, liberation is in the mind. Everything has to do with mind. Please see this. The self is always liberated. It is in bondage. So mind training is yoga. Agar mind ko aap handle kar sako, there are such beautiful stories in our culture, which tell us the importance of this. I'll just give you a sample here. There was one king who was a little arrogant. He used to feel that only the men of action matter. The men who do things, they are the only ones who should be on this earth, and the rest, all these meditators and the yogis and all are useless people and don't know where they contribute. So one day he was passing through a forest, and there he suddenly heard some rishis were praising a great yogi who had a hermitage there. And those rishis were saying that he is a man who can control 1,000 elephants. Now the ears of the king perked up. What? He's a man who can control 1,000 elephants? He sits still without doing anything, vacant like this. Kuch bhi kaam nahi kar raha hai. Why should we give him all these attributes? And he told those rishis, why do you give him such an epithet? And then they said, well, the mind has greater power than 1,000 elephants. This man has completely subdued his mind. He is in the state of samadhi perpetually. So we are saying he is the one who can control 1,000 elephants. And then this king thought, what does he mean? What do you mean by this? So he went into the hermitage, and the yogi was sitting there under a tree, and really he was a radiant being. And the king went with his army, entire army, he went and sat around that sage to see what are they talking about. And when he started staring at that yogi, what is he doing exactly? Suddenly he felt his mind becoming calmer, calm. His very strong negative thoughts, his hatred and his anger, somewhere they just vanished. And still he was looking, what is going on? There's a kind of stillness, a kind of peace around him. And he further saw that peace and that stillness has entered him. His own system has become peaceful, and all those negative thoughts have vanished somewhere. And the same thing is happening to his entire army. And then further on he saw, what is this happening? Then he saw clearly, he is fully aware without thoughts. So long he was identified with this thought and that thought. Now only awareness is prevailing. There is no thought in the mind. Thoughts are not even coming up. But he is fully conscious and full awareness, and he himself went into the state of samadhi. After some time he opened his eyes and he said, what kind of a power is this? My entire army, the sage's mind moved, which means he thought. So thoughts popped up in their minds also. And then with that thought, he felt, what kind of a power is this? This is really controlling, more than controlling 1,000 elephants. Because he has brought my mind to a standstill. Yogis radiate this power. If a mind is powerfully riveted to its source, it will radiate this power. You will feel this power in the presence of a yogi. So you see, aap yahi pooch rahe ho, how do I make my mind more and more aware? Do it through meditation. That is the foolproof method. You must be convinced of the need for this, and then your own mind will goad you towards that. अगर आप ये simple techniques practice करो, your own mind opens up to a level of reality. It will lead you further. Yogo yogena jnatavyo, yogo yogat pravartate. You can know yoga only through yoga. You can proceed in yoga only through yoga. Don't ask too much about it. Just do it. It's a do-it-yourself thing. ये करने की बात है. आप करके देखो, आपको मिल जाएगा कुछ. Yes.
Like Swamiji used to say that the soul is ever pure.
Yes.
So if pureness is the objective reality, then why do we need some special efforts to reach that?
Yes. You see, that is the truth. The soul is always pure. The soul is always effulgent. The soul is fully conscious all the time. Soul is the only reality. The Atman is the only reality. The thing is, I am not understanding this at present. I feel I am the thoughts in my mind. I feel I am the emotions which are crisscrossing my mind. And I feel that other people have the power to influence my thoughts and my emotions. I give in to the emotions of others. I give in to the will of others. Isn't it? And I face all kinds of problems because I am identified with the thought level of my mind. I am identified with the surface level. Now, because I am identified with this, I do not have the picture of pure consciousness, my soul. तो यही हो रहा है. आप सोचे जैसे एक lake है. Now, if the waters of that lake are very turbid and very dirty, can you see what is at the bottom? You can't see what is at the bottom. What is at the bottom is always there. Consciousness is the very heart of your being. It is always shining within you. It is always self-effulgent. It is radiating right from within you. But the experience is not there just now because you are identified with the mind. And the mind is turbid and it is throwing up all sorts of waves. That is why you are not able to see what is underneath. So first train the mind. Still the mind. And you will be able to see what is there. तब आपका ही ये realization होगा जो आप कह रहे हो that I am ever pure. I am always the Atman. I was always that. I was never identified with this. It was only a mistake. It was an error. Truth is always there. Ignorance never is there. But it was an error in my thinking.
Sorry guys, we are running out of time. So I will request Saul to take this.
Thank you very much. Many have raised their hands, so maybe after the whole thing we can discuss. No, you can always come to our ashram here. We are quite close to you, about 15-20 minutes from here. You are welcome to come to the ashram.
Thank you so much, Sadhviji, for your enlightening thoughts of peace and harmony. We will definitely try to apply some principles suggested by you in our daily lives.
We request our Deputy Director, Strategy and Planning, Professor M. Balakrishnan, to felicitate Sadhviji.